Well, David's doing a UFO show today, so I drew the UFOs I saw. And the first ones I saw in Wisconsin is like kind of a glowing silver white light, like a three flying V's, and like with a mothership in formation would appear in one spot and disappear there and appear in another spot at the same time. And one of them, there was a lightning storm, and the lightning struck the tree and split it in half. And this was about 12 feet big right in front of my window, glowing. It blinded me for about 15 minutes, and it just like communicated. It said, "Do not attempt to communicate. We mean no harm. Tell no one you saw us." And these ones, we hear a high-pitched whirring sound. Red, white, and green light flashing would hover along the power lines. This is big red light would appear behind the lilac bushes about 12 feet up, where no man could hold a flashlight, and the dogs would freak out barking. And this one's been following me about 3 days from Venice Beach to Hollywood. I thought, because I have a cell phone, a few weeks ago, I thought because of the satellite from the cell phone, but it wasn't that. I have a friend saw us. It's in Earth's atmosphere. It's about twice as big as Venus, had a little yellow tinge, and it kind of moved around in a real slow circular motion. And this one, the one of the 23 that I saw above the Hollywood High School a few years ago, the others were like these ones, and this one is very pretty, like a silver gray, a couple little like antenna wires or something, and they had some like pastel colored lights.
And Francine, you saw like 23 UFOs above Hollywood Boulevard, right?
Oh, that was one day. And
Tell me about the UFOs you've seen. I'll tell you about the ones I saw.
all right. I was in Wisconsin looking out the window, and I would see a light appear in the sky. It was like a flying V shape. There was 3 of them, like a mothership, and they would disappear from one spot and appear in another spot at the same time, and they would hover around power lines, red, white, and green lights flashing. There was a red light behind the lilac bushes, and the dogs were barking, and I ran out there, and I couldn't see anything. It had disappeared. And then with 23, I saw, like above Hollywood High School, they were white, some red, white, and green, and the one whirling around and making a high-pitched sound, and different color lights flashing and disappeared. And it looks like they make a stationary cloud, and they kind of like go into the cloud and then come out the other side, because the other clouds move and that one doesn't.
Well, I'll tell you about the UFO experience I had. My parents moved out to Park Forest, Illinois, and there was a guy that was in my class named Mark Hafner, and he came to the class with burns all over his face. He said he was abducted by a UFO. Everybody laughed and made fun of him. I did too. Next thing I knew, the following night, I was abducted, and these, what they call the Greys, took samples of my hair, cut into my skin, and I was taken up in the spacecraft and abducted when I was a kid back in in the early 60s. So we're not alone in the universe. UFOs do exist. When I used to be married, I saw a UFO in San Bernardino over Mount Santa Central. It looked from as far distant like a star, and then when it got big, it was a big brass frisbee. And it hung over my ex-wife's in my car, and then it disappeared into the sky. And you know, our government is hiding the existence of UFOs. On Area 51, our government has UFO discs that they have shot down and that have crashed. And they even have aliens in test tubes, like people have frogs in test tubes and your biology class. But they don't want people to know that, in fact, our technology from the computer and the music disc all came from alien technology. The reason why the government doesn't want anybody to know UFOs exist is because they don't want to scare the regular public, and they don't want people to know they're making a lot of money off of their technology. Imagine how many people have computers. It's a shame that those extraterrestrials don't even get royalties for all the stuff they have given us.
I know, man.
And they even, another thing is the Greys, they have their T-shirts everywhere. And they never get any recognition for or money back for all their T-shirts and all the toys that are made of the Greys.
I know,
It sucks.
it's not fair to them.
And it's not fair that they're being abducted.
They might get mad
they
and,
should
like,
give
attack them.
they should give aliens rights just like they give minorities rights. Our government shouldn't have them taken on Area 51 and put in test tubes underground. You know, who are you trying to fool? We all know UFOs exist. Thousands of people know. Like Wendell Stevenson says, we're not alone in the universe. And my favorite UFO lady, Linda Moulton Howe, she tells it like it is, that UFOs really exist. She was a journalist. She's my favorite UFO speaker. And she was a journalist, and she got into UFOs from being a journalist in Denver. And she did a special about the crop circles and about the cattle mutilation. And it's really interesting. We're not alone in the universe. UFOs exist. And while we're watching the stars, somebody is watching us. Amen. The end. Anybody else have anything to say about UFOs?
Well, yeah, I saw one more in Wisconsin that I thought the lightning had struck the tree and split it in half, and then I saw what I thought was lightning at first, but it was like, how can I say, a non-material type spaceship. It was some energy form of light or spirit, and it was like a silver white glowing, and it was very big. It was a flying V shape. It was in front of my window, and it like mentally communicated to me. It said, do not attempt to communicate.